Good day, everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Onodiru Morenikeji Rhoda. By the grace of God, I'm a published author, I'm a filmmaker, and I am an accountant. Today, I just want to share a topic with you, and I hope you're going to learn a lot from it. It's funny, and when I say the topic, just smile. Well, my topic is how I cried in the early days of my chemistry class. How I cried in the early days of my chemistry class. Yeah, somebody will be wondering, why did she cry? And what am I going to learn from this? I bet you have a lot to learn. And we're going to just look at it. And I first want to tell you, I didn't cry because I wanted attention of my teachers or of the other students, or because I want to gain their sympathy. I actually cried because of a learning related insecurity, a learning related struggle. That's why that was why I cried. And I will tell you the background story before I continue with the story. Now, as a GSS 3 student, I've written my final exams and the result came out very good. And my dad was like, you know what? You're going to do sciences. It's either you do sciences, arts, or commercial. And my dad came up with, you're going to do sciences. He actually told me and my brother, and my brother, I don't know how I eventually did. I think he was smart enough to say he wasn't going to do sciences, but I was daddy's girl. So before you knew what was happening, dad had got all the textbook, and I resumed. No excuse. Got all the textbooks and all the things I would need to pay the school fees, so I have to resume as a science student. But deep inside me, deep down inside me, I wasn't ready for sciences. Excuse me, and but I had no choice. But he believed that I was a very brilliant child. That anyway, she's going to go. Maybe she's supposed to be able to cope with sciences. And parents, they in their mind they have the profession they want you to do, so they'll be like, I have to set her on the path now, so she has to do sciences. So I got into sciences with very brilliant girls. I'm telling you, brilliant girls. I attended Anglican Girls Grammar School, a single gender school, and I'm saying I respect those girls. I respect their brains, and I still respect them today. Brilliant girls. So you've got to be brilliant if you really want to beat them. So I got into class, and we got into this chemistry class. I remember we used the chemistry laboratory then, and the teacher started. By the time she started, oh my word, I was overwhelmed, and I started shedding tears. But one thing that I did then that still ministered to me today is that I cried in the class. As I was crying in that class, I was still writing. I didn't leave the class. She was teaching. She didn't notice. Up till now, I can remember. She didn't notice I cried. But students around me noticed. And I think one of them asked me after we finished the class, that what was it? And I had to tell the person. I think I told the person, this class now, I didn't even understand what the teacher was saying. So but one thing that I did, then I was crying, and at the same time I was writing. I didn't leave the class. You understand? And it's actually a lesson to me today. It's telling me, stay put where God wants you to be. The challenges may be there, but if it's God that has put you there, stay put. He's going to do something about it. And I told this my dad. So let's look at it as if it's God that has put it somewhere. That's a lesson for us. But I also want to say something. One of the things that helped me along the way, that eventually made me to be able to at least pass my exams, my final year exams, was because of the power of association. There's some people you meet that God has ordained along the journey of your life that will help you. I told you earlier, I said those girls were brilliant, and they are still very good in their area of careers and businesses. I still respect them because we still relate, especially social media will bring it together. So They are brilliant. And so because I saw, and most of us were tiny, tiny looking children, you know, some of us we got in, some people got into school, maybe got to JSS1 from primary 4, primary 5, and you see how you will be tiny, and they were all ready to learn, even when I was struggling. So that sort of inspired and motivated me. That sort of challenged me. And one other thing that God used those girls for was that there was this thing we usually say then. I think when we're about getting to SS3 or so, you just hear them saying, I finish my YX syllabus, so I'm going to finish YX syllabus on this particular subject. And let me tell you, when they say they want to finish the syllabus, they actually meant it. Because if you tell them you finish syllabus, you know what they will do? They will not ask you question. Let's say you tell them, I finished chemistry syllabus. They will not ask you question in chemistry. If you don't know it, then you will now be able to tell them that you are just about to start. And one other thing that my dad also did for me was when I was in SS2, he actually now went to go and buy for every major subject I was doing as a science student. He got 5-year past question of WAEC for me. Let's say you're doing chemistry, so he went to go and get 5-year past question of chemistry, physics, like that. So there wasn't an excuse. The man has respected himself enough to pay my school fees, to buy textbook for me, and to also I was also in the boarding house, so that's another cost. So and he also bought past questions. So I had no excuse. I just had to continue. I started reading like my friends. When I saw some of my friends, tiny girls ready, I didn't know if they were struggling too, but it didn't show in the face of some of them, and some of them were excelling, and I actually started excelling too. And I started reading, and it taught me the power of tenacity, the power of staying put, the power of believing that I can do this thing. The Bible tells us that His grace is sufficient for us, for His strength is made perfect in weakness. When we say we don't have strength, when that thing comes, when that challenging issue comes, and we say, I can't do this, then He's there to do it for us. So, so crying in my chemistry class and staying put make me, it has a lot of lesson to me today. It's telling me, if your dad put you somewhere, that is my Heavenly Father put me somewhere, the situation might not be what I like. It might be as if, God, why this? Because then one of the things that made me to cry was like, excuse me, what was I doing in this class? And why did dad have to be so pushy to make me to stay here? So and it's teaching me a lot of lessons today. And it's also teaching you that when there's a mountain, once God puts you there, then He has a way of bringing that mountain to a miracle. You understand? And so sometimes when as children we see ourselves like grasshopper, just the way the Israelites saw themselves as grasshopper before the enemy. But we sometimes forget that we have a good Heavenly Father that's ready to carry us on the wings of grace. So that cry that day, and my being a science student, and later excelling, because I actually passed my final exams in secondary school. Though I am not in the sciences now, I'm not practicing in any of the science related courses, profession rather, but it has taught me a lesson that when God is with you, He will help you. It has taught me a lesson of the power of association, that when you have right people around you, people that have great goals before them, it can help you. It can help you. And I think another thing that also helped me then was my self-thought. I think later, I told you that when I was crying in the class, I was thinking, oh, what was I really doing in the class? I think my self-thought process changed later, and I have to think, and I believed that I'll be able to achieve in this thing. So I hope you'll be able to learn from this too today, that you can do all God wants you to do. There will be challenges, fine. There will be challenges, let me tell you. And one thing I also want you to know is that great people that are out there making it, they too were once afraid, or they are even afraid as they're doing it. But They just believe, I can do this thing. Especially some of them that are born again and have and believe God, they believe, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It's not as if they don't have their time of fear. It's not as if they don't have their time of doubt. It's not as if they don't have that anxiety and worry. But let me tell you, if they have allowed that worry, anxiety, fear, doubt to keep them down, there are many things, great things that we might not even have today in the world. There are many people that would have died without having the great name that they have. So this story is just to challenge you and to encourage me too, that if God be for you, nothing can be against you. God may put us in that situation just to help us, just to prove his name. And as long as you're going to walk in his line and allow him to take the glory, he will just use you to manifest his glory. So I just believe that my story is going to help somebody today. And I remain Onoderu Morenikeji Roda, like I've said. And by the grace of God, I'm a published author, a filmmaker, and an accountant. And I know there are things before you to still achieve. Just believe that his grace is sufficient for you. And if you want to share in the comment section some things that you feel are too difficult for you to achieve, you can share, or things that you have achieved before and you felt like the way I felt in the chemistry class, and maybe you cried, or you sat on the floor and you say, oh my God, why on earth, why must it be me of all people? And you cried, you cried, you didn't allow your friend to see you, or you just wish that somebody else would just be in that position, but eventually it turned out to be a testimony. Feel free to share, and you will be so grateful, because I also want to learn from you. So I want to appreciate you for listening. God bless you. Go ahead and be great as God wants you to be great. God bless you. Have a great time. And there's another one I'm still going to share. That is how my physics teacher dared us. Keep waiting for that. Enjoy. Bye.